All right, next question up is from one of our lifters who's both a guided programming athlete, and he's also a RTS classroom student. So he's bringing these two things together, which I think is really awesome, by the way. So I just wanted to give that bit of context before we get into the question. His question says, I just got through the deadlift best practices video, and I'd like to follow up with you directly with some questions. Out of the 3 lifts, the deadlift's the one I struggle the most with. I'm a flat back conventional puller, and my typical weak range of motion is off the floor. Typically during guided programming, I have I have a primary movement under my P2 session, and an assistance movement under the P4 session. Then I train the squat under P1, 2, and 3. I was wondering, where do you think it would be best to place an additional supplemental movement for the deadlift to try to help it out? That's a good that's a good question. Pretty straightforward answer. It would be under the priority 4 session. Now, you probably already have a deadlift supplement movement in there, but you may not recognize it as such, since a lot of times it's some sort of a row. Now, if you need to remove that and select an exercise that better targets your individual weaknesses, please, by all means, take care of that. In addition, this question goes on to say, I always hit the priority 1 workout on Monday, but then the next day or two after, hit the priority 2 workout, where I'll have some fatigue and the deadlift can feel a bit sluggish and not as strong. What are your thoughts on trading up these 2 days, perhaps just for a cycle? You could do that. Excuse me. But the deadlift is competed in the meet last, and you are experiencing fatigue when you do the deadlift then. So I don't know how much that's affecting you. Usually the P1 session, it's designed to be, more bench heavy. Yes, of course, there's squatting. That's your main squat work for the week, but there's not the volume that there would be if there were 2 movements in that session, 2 lower body movements. So yeah, you're going to have some fatigue, but it shouldn't be crippling, and it may affect your lift some, but it shouldn't be a ton. I don't think that switching up those 2 days is going to have much of an effect, and it may have a more pronounced negative effect for your squat than it would help your deadlift. With that said, I really hope that you enjoyed classroom mesocycles. Anybody else that wants to get in on this level of thought that Rick's clearly bringing to his training, classroom microcycles starts up this week. So if you want to get in on that, please sign up soon. You can go to store.reactivetrainingsystems.com and click on classroom stuff for more information. Thanks, Rick. Good question, by the way, and I'm really glad to see that you're integrating these concepts.